Good morning. I am Michael Fernier, IFF 9th District Vice President, representing Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, which is a home of our IFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial. We are gathered today in this special place to honor the memory of those IFF members who've given their lives in the line of duty. We are joined today by IFF General President Edward Kelly, IFF General Secretary Treasurer Frank Lima, the entire IFF Executive Board, and numerous distinguished friends and guests. We're also joined by more than 1,400 members of the IFF Honor Guard and the Colorado Springs Chorale. I'd like to welcome the families and friends of our fallen and the thousands of fellow firefighters who've made the journey to this memorial to pay respects to our brothers and sisters. This is the only monument that collectively honors professional firefighters, emergency medical, and rescue workers from the United States and Canada who have lost their lives in the line of duty. The centerpiece of this memorial, a sculpture of a firefighter descending a ladder while cradling an infant in one arm, entitled Somewhere, Every Day, arrived in 1987. The first granite walls displaying the etched names of our fallen were erected in 1989. In January of 2015, the memorial was temporarily decommissioned to allow for the memorial to be rebuilt. Over the next 8 months that followed, union construction crews and stonemasons carefully deconstructed the memorial, incorporating the precious stone from those original hallowed walls into the family ring. It serves as a pathway for our families to follow as they remember their loved ones. The talented hands of the workers who labored on our members' behalf sculptured these new granite walls that now rise to the memories of those we've lost. They engraved their names and placed these two strong guardians to stand silently watching over our fallen every hour and every day. Now please rise as the IFF Honor Guard presents the colors. Once the colors are posted, remain standing as the Colorado Springs Chorale sings the national anthems of Canada and the United States.
Test. 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 Carry colors. Pipe major, by your command. Forward, push. Freeze and on. Staff, right, face. Order, arm. all about. Face.
Please be seated. We'd like to welcome Chaplain, IFF Chaplain, Father Thomas McCrane, for our prayer.
As we place ourselves in the presence of God, let us pause and remember all of our fallen brothers and sisters of the fire service and of the armed forces of the United States of America and Canada, those brave ones who have made the ultimate sacrifice and whose memory is ever near to our hearts. Lord God, we call upon you as we gather under the splendor of your creation to honor and to remember 308 members of our IAFF family whom you've called unto yourself. For their families, we pray that by your mercy, life might rise even from the ashes. We pray especially for those whose lives are still broken and ask that by your grace and mercy, they may know your healing and open up for them a world of hope. Embrace with your heavenly care all those brave brothers and sisters whose names are etched on the walls of this beautiful memorial. We shall never forget the great sacrifice of these true heroes, these great ones who gave their lives for the least of our brothers and sisters. We pray for those who have reported for duty today, first responders from our two great nations. Watch over, protect them as they watch over and protect those they have been charged to care for. Remember too, Lord, our wonderful hosts and the caretakers of this proud memorial, the brothers and sisters of IAFF Local 5. Their hospitality and dedication are a wonderful grace for all of us. And Lord, send down upon the leadership of this union the blessings of wisdom and fortitude in the struggle for justice and dignity for all the members of this great union. Embrace in your love those who have this day come to honor their heroes. Lord, bless your children everywhere, that we all may rest and rise, live and die, and be reborn in the loving care of you, our God. In doing so, may we live always as sisters and brothers formed by your mighty word. May God bless this great union and our two great nations.
First color. Forward. Flag detail. Prepare to lower colors. Forward. Color. Ceremonial. Cut. Forward. Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the tradition of our union and the fire service, IFF General President Edward Kelly and General Secretary Treasurer Frank Lima will now honor our brothers and sisters by placing a memorial wreath. Ladies and gentlemen, IFF General President Edward Kelly.
The dictionary tells us that the simple definition of the word memorial is something that keeps remembrance alive. And of course, the word memory is closely related. The Bible's New Testament uses the word memorial several times to describe an act of remembrance. Something good and pure, forged by sacrifice, and shaped by love. Love for a husband, a wife, a child, or a parent. Love for a buddy, a friend, a mentor. Love for a firefighter. That's what brings us here today, to this IAFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial. We gather today as a family to share this act of remembrance. Your loss is shared by us all. Your grief, we hope, is lessened by all of us sharing our grief together. We come together today to say we remember and we will never forget. We are here today for you and in all the days to come. As we pay tribute to the sacrifice of 308 souls whose names are etched into these memorial walls and whose legacy will live in our hearts forever. Let's rededicate our efforts to bring about the day when fewer and fewer firefighters die too soon. A day when fewer families of future firefighters endure the pain in every heart here today. Notwithstanding our efforts, there will never be a day when the calling of fighting fires does not demand the ultimate sacrifice of those doing the fighting. That willingness to sacrifice is the cornerstone of who we are as firefighters. And the names we remember here today of heroes who've lived a life and shown the way for all of us who follow in their footsteps. We will make your loved one's sacrifice a source of strength to answer the next call, a source of hope for a stranger in need on their worst day. That is the legacy of our fallen. And each of you, the families of our fallen, share in their sacrifice. You shoulder that burden, and you always will. It's part of loving a firefighter. But you are also bestowed by your sacrifice the legacy of your loved one, who set the highest example for the most noble calling civilized society has ever gifted itself, the calling of a firefighter, who endeavors to seize from the precipice of death life, even at the expense of their own. Christ-like. I ask you to reach deep into your pain and find pride, knowing your pain will help forge the next generation of this noble calling. But we must do all we can to protect the lives of the brothers and sisters still answering the call. Our mission is to make the job safer, to improve the health and safety protections that are so desperately needed, and to refuse to take no for an answer. Our fallen deserve our finest efforts, and so do each of you. Their legacy will fuel us. Their time on earth must serve as our directive to keep up the fight, to never back down, and to leave no stone unturned. When we depart from this most solemn of places, let's take the memories of love and of sacrifice of good deeds and good times. All that have fallen have taught us. And let's make a vow that this memorial, this act of remembrance, shaped by love, forged by sacrifice, will remain our true north. God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless our fallen.
This beautiful city and its citizens are protected by the members of Colorado Springs Professional Firefighters, IFF Local 5. Our brothers and sisters of Local 5 are the caretakers, 365 days a year, of this sacred memorial. Local 5 is one of the original 18 locals that founded the IFF more than 100 years ago on February 28, 1918. I now ask IFF Local 5 President Kurt Crum to provide greetings. President Crum.
Good morning. General President Kelly, General Secretary Treasurer Lima, members of council, esteemed guests, thank you for being here today. I am Kurt Crum, President of the Colorado Springs Professional Firefighters Local Number 5. As such, it is my solemn honor to stand before you all and welcome the family, friends, and loved ones of our fallen. This ceremony is truly for you. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Ron Wright, former Local 5 president and one of the people who was instrumental in championing the placement of this memorial here in Colorado Springs. Ron passed away earlier this summer, so I'd like to welcome his family here in attendance today. Today we gather with heavy hearts and immense gratitude to honor the brave men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. This memorial stands as a solemn reminder of their courage, commitment, and selflessness. Being the host local, we have been able to support the loved ones of fallen firefighters. We have been able to treat the family members of the men and women honored behind me with empathy and compassion as their extended fire family. This year, it is different for our local. We grieve with you as we have lost one of our own, driver engineer Bobby Keese. This year is different for me as I grieve with you as my family puts our own family member on, Brian Konechny, on the wall. We all take solace in the fact that they are honored with all of the loved ones memorialized on these hallowed walls. Firefighting is more than a profession. It is a calling, a devotion to serving our communities even in the face of unimaginable danger. Each year, we pause to reflect on those who have answered that call and in doing so have given everything for our safety. As we stand together, we remember the heroes whose names are inscribed in this memorial. Each name tells a story of courage, of sacrifice, and of steadfast dedication. These individuals ran towards danger when most would flee. They faced raging fires, perilous conditions, and the unknown, all to protect the lives of others. Let us honor the families of our fallen heroes. To the spouses, children, parents, and siblings who carry this profound loss, know that you are not alone. Your loved ones will forever be part of our hearts and our community. Their bravery inspires us to do better, to be better, and to honor their legacy through our actions. Today, we also acknowledge the commitment of firefighters who continue to serve. Each day, you put on gear and face risks that most cannot even imagine. You embody the spirit of service and sacrifice. Thank you for your dedication, your courage, and your unwavering commitment to protecting us all. As we reflect on the courage of our fallen firefighters, let us also remember the lessons they imparted. They taught us the value of teamwork, the importance of resilience, and the power of compassion. In a world that can sometimes feel divided, their legacy reminds us that we are stronger together, united in purpose and in heart. In closing, please know that men and women of Local 5 are here to honor the memory of your loved ones, not just today, but the other 364 days of the year. Let us share their stories, celebrate their lives, and strive to live with the same bravery they exemplified. May their sacrifice be our inspiration, and may we continue to support one another as we carry forward their legacy. Thank you. And at this time, it is my honor to introduce Colorado Springs Fire Chief and my friend, Randy Royal.
We, the firefighters of Colorado Springs Fire Department and of Local 5, and we, the citizens of the city of Colorado Springs, welcome you to our community. We are extremely honored to be able to have you in our community, and we are even more privileged to be able to host this event in honoring our brothers and sisters at this sacred place in Memorial Park. Our hearts go out to, our thoughts and prayers go out to each of the family members who have added names to this wall over the past years. Our prayers also go out to those that have added the names today, their loved ones in preparation for this event. As was shared by President Crum, we are even more intimately connected this year by adding driver engineer Bobby Keys to the wall. Many of our firefighters and even our local citizens have been volunteering this week to serve you all, whether it's providing information, answering questions, or providing transportation to the events and activities. Most importantly, they are trying to provide you with compassion and care each and every day. That being said, we fully respect the fact that even the highest level of service that we can provide to each of you is only a faint gesture compared to the heroic sacrifice that was given by your loved ones to their communities, and the ultimate cost to you as a family, you as a fire department, and you as a community. In 1893, Catherine Lee Bates wrote the poem America the Beautiful after traveling up to the top of Pikes Peak and basking in the purple mountain majesty. I want to focus on the third verse of this poem, as I feel it speaks clearly to and is relative to the service of firefighters, as well as being applicable to all of our fire service men and women across the United States and in Canada. As I go, I'm going to repeat each line because I want you to really take them in their meaning. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Let me repeat. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved, firefighters that will give all when needed, that will sacrifice for others, are heroes proved. In liberating strife, they work daily to free people from pain, suffering, heartache, who more than self their country love. They put themselves in harm's way for their community each and every day. And mercy more than life. They take care and compassion to the next level. America, America, may God thy gold refine. Gold is made pure by fire. Firefighters by the challenge that they face each and every day. Till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. The fire service is a divine service, one in which firefighters are willing to put their lives on the line each and every day and risk them for other people that they do not know. Each and every day they liberate strife, whether it's a life rescued from a fire, a life saved from cardiac arrest, or the gentleness and compassion provided for those they respond to who do lose a loved one. I share whenever I can in public settings like this that when firefighters go out the door, they generally do have an idea of what they are running on. But they do not normally know who they are running on. And it does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter what the color of their skin is. It does not matter if they are rich or they are poor. It does not matter if they have a religious belief or they do not. And it does not matter if they have political leanings. What does matter is that there's a person in need. And you can have confidence that every time firefighters are going out the door, they're going to do everything in their power, even to the extent of sacrificing their own life, so they can help another. When I share these thoughts, I follow up with the fact, how much better would our community, our United States, our country of Canada, be if we all acted like firefighters? In loving others more than ourselves, in serving without bias, in being respectful for life itself, for life's sake, and for the betterment of humankind worldwide. Families and loved ones, thank you for supporting your firefighter in this noble endeavor. Thank you for being an important part of their lives, their service, and their sacrifice. Our thoughts, prayers, and heartfelt support are with you today and into the future, and they are truly beautiful as heroes proved.
Thank you to the pipes and drums for your uplifting music. We will now honor our fallen, whose names will be read by Honor Guard members from IAFF affiliates across the United States and Canada. After each name is read, a bell will sound and teams of flag bearers will render a flag salute with the colors lowered as each name is spoken. An IAFF Honor Guard member will then present the family the flag of the International Association of Firefighters. In order to assist us with the presentations, we ask that only one representative from each family stand when your loved one's name is called, and that you remain standing until the flag presenter reaches your seat. At that point, all members of the family that wish should stand and jointly receive the IAFF memorial flag. Following the presentation of the last flag, the IAFF Honor Guard will toll the bell and play taps. I now invite the Honor Guard to begin reading the names of our fallen.
We will now present the 113 names of those line of duty deaths from 1918 through 2023 that were reported to us during this past year. These members died from occupational diseases that were recognized by their fire department, their local, and their state or provincial government as occurring in the line of duty.
Dale Fleming, Local 1062, Gresham, Oregon. Raymond D. Sharp, Local 1592, Roseville, California. Robert Schwab, Local 542, Amarillo, Texas. Robert J. McPherson, Local 1669, Beverly, Massachusetts. Ted Beer, Local 1068, Brampton, Ontario. Al Yates, Local 1068, Brampton, Ontario. Charles M. Pollock, Local 485, St. Catharines, Ontario. William L. Ruth, Local 534, Stratford, Ontario. Frederick J. Familari, Local 718, Boston, Massachusetts. John F. Dole, Local 1563, Anne Arundel County, Maryland. Barry W. Muir, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Anthony Alesi, Local 94, New York, New York. Robert Gibson, Local 193, Thunder Bay, Ontario. Brian K. Deason, Local 178, Tulsa, Oklahoma. V. Roy Applin, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Ross Taylor, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Gordon E. White, Local 803, Brandon, Manitoba. Eric J. Patry, Local 1842, Delray Beach, Florida.
Gary J. Fleming, Local 455, Windsor, Ontario. Lawrence C. Hamill, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Albert R. Vandenacker, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Alan Darling, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. Marcelo C. Trejo, Local 2598, Prince William County, Virginia. Linda McLear, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Robert E. Drake, Local 142, London, Ontario. Rayanne J. Dubkoff, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. John S. Courier, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Michael P. Stark Jr., Local 3113, Grapevine, Texas. Royden Wilson, Local 1092, Ajax, Ontario. Victor Ryman, Local 1957, Richmond Hill, Ontario. Terence Kilberg, Local 142, London, Ontario. Sean P. Stilson, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Roger Bouchard, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. Chris L. Hayes, Local 51, El Paso, Texas. Kevin M. Odenhoff, Local 498, Kingston, Ontario. Larry G. Shepley, Local 499, Cambridge, Ontario. Rafael Rodriguez Jr., Local 51, El Paso, Texas.
Stanley Lohr, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Richard G. Tucker, Local 112, Los Angeles, California.
Chartrand, Réal Chartrand, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. François Brunel, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Jack W. Wozni, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Xavier Bracken, Local 2727, Markham, Ontario. Robert D. Cooper, Local 455, Windsor, Ontario. Tim Papineau, Local 455, Windsor, Ontario. John Stevenson, Local 497, Belleville, Ontario. James Eggett, Local 142, London, Ontario. Clifford N. Smith, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Samuel R. Davis, Local 2881, CAL FIRE, Sacramento, California. Peter St. Denis, Local 527, Sudbury, Ontario. Christopher N. Anaya, Local 522, Sacramento, California. Carl Reynolds, Local 499, Cambridge, Ontario. John Chalawa, Local 499, Cambridge, Ontario. Andrew C. Ward, Local 54, Louisville, Kentucky. Frederick G. Morse, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. John L. McBride, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario.
Donald W. Medhurst, Local 1732, Cobourg, Ontario. Keoki D. Porter, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Martin Michaels, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. Daniel O'Connell, Local 2583, Dennis, Massachusetts. Murray M. Schill, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Raymond M. Wynn, Local 42, Kansas City, Missouri. Jeffrey P. Vitti, Local 522, Sacramento, California. Gordon Hay, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. James M. Perro, Local 1845, Mentor, Ohio. Cornelius M. Verhule, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta.
Claude Davio, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Leonard W. Madison, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. George T. Wright, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Hugo E. Guevara, Local 5248, Cypress, Texas.
André Sévignac, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Jacob B. Latch, Local 1469, Pascagoula, Mississippi. Mark A. Edria, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Chadwick J. Mitleiter, Local 2639, Aberdeen, Washington. Matthew T. Runty, Local 27, Seattle, Washington.
Richard E. Blankenship, Jr., Local 2000, Howard County, Maryland. Elmer P. Tardif, Local 3631, Orange County, California. Guy W. Powell, Local 1908, Clark County, Nevada. Gerald T. Wilson, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Albert Zembick, Local 867, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Edward E. McBride, Local 1692, Godfrey, Illinois. Walter J. McNeil, Local 499, Cambridge, Ontario. Benjamin Corelgi, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Howard A. Cook, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Bradley J. Tanner, Local 142, London, Ontario. John J. Donlin, Local 2583, Dennis, Massachusetts. Thomas M. McNamara, Local 479, Tucson, Arizona. Kirk D. Tobiasen, Local 3631, Orange County, California. Paul Schuster, Local 1957, Richmond Hill, Ontario. Jack E. Shepard, Local 3546, San Ramon Valley, California.
Raymond Dion, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. Michel Lefebvre, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Michael Higgins, Local 854, New York, New York. Scott E. Riker, Local 1619, Prince George's County, Maryland.
Carol P. Thomas, Jr., Local 2881, CAL FIRE, Sacramento, California. Richard McInnes, Local 1908, Clark County, Nevada. Adrian Vanderflute, Local 237, Lethbridge, Alberta. Wayne A. Bullock, Local 498, Kingston, Ontario. Robert Swink, Local 947, Greensboro, North Carolina. Alan O. Little, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Brett Miller, Local 1403, Metro Dade, Florida. Scott K. Gomez, Local 2881, CAL FIRE, Sacramento, California. Gerald T. Saxton, Local 485, St. Catharines, Ontario. Brian S. Baldson, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario.
Rodolphe Saint-Denis, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Peter M. Scarry, Sr., Local 1564, Winchester, Massachusetts. Robert B. McCarthy, Local 1347, Watertown, Massachusetts. Kenneth R. Robertson, Local 2727, Markham, Ontario. Donald G. Hunter, Local 142, London, Ontario. Richard A. McMurdo, Local 144, Brockton, Massachusetts. Michael Riley, Local 2282, St. Augustine, Florida. Daniel G. Duggan, Local 144, Brockton, Massachusetts. Maxwell Kinney, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta.
We will now present the 195 IAFF members who died in the line of duty between January 1st and December 31st, 2023.
Michael G. Hance, Local 854, New York, New York. James W. McPhee, Local 1826, Fort Myers, Florida. Larry D. Fearborn, Local 135, Wichita, Kansas. Matthew J. McGovern, Local 12, Wheeling, West Virginia. Terrell D. Jackson, Local 4131, Escambia County, Florida. Charles T. Cate II, Local 2933, Clallam County, Washington. Darren J. Hodges, Local 2066, Midwest City, Oklahoma. Donald J. Kelly, Local 854, New York, New York. Thomas J. McDougall, Local 94, New York, New York. Alfonso Akram, Local 739, Lynn, Massachusetts. Kenneth A. Hagan, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Lee A. Flynn, Local 2546, Venice, Florida. Andrew S. Cutting, Local 3033, Skokie, Illinois. Chad Ringler, Local 284, North Bay, Ontario. Michael D. Ferguson, Local 145, San Diego, California. Paul M. Crimmins, Local 1775, Marin, California. Donald Richard John Stalker, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Richard D. Richardson, Local 67, Columbus, Ohio. Kenneth Lynch, Local 465, Oshawa, Ontario.
Curtis W. Tate, Jr., Local 2881, CAL FIRE, Sacramento, California. Anthony N. Morrow, Local 94, New York, New York. Robert L. Schemer, Local 31, Tacoma, Washington. Bruce Pete, Local 94, New York, New York. Joseph Brosey, Local 854, New York, New York. Brandon Norbury, Local 1062, Gresham, Oregon. James J. Hanley, Local 854, New York, New York. Trey P. Evans Dumoran, Local 1463, Hawaiian Islands, Hawaii. Craig A. Saris, Local 830, Norwalk, Connecticut. Andrew W. Jeffries, Local 571, Galveston, Texas.
Miguel Cervantes, Local 2274, Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Robert D. Davis, Local F152, Dobbins Air Reserve Base, Georgia. Philip P. Christensen, Local 33, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Grant P. Schultz, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Bruce Lasilade, Local 1552, Burlington, Ontario. Victor A. Cantelmo III, Local 94, New York, New York. Vincent G. Lyons, Local 854, New York, New York. Brian R. Hersick, Local 2141, Alexandria, Virginia. Taylor E. Bass, Local 2455, Slidell, Louisiana.
Ricky A. Hill, Jr., Local 352, Flint, Michigan. William J. Wittes, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Michael C. Smith, Local 293, Erie, Pennsylvania. James L. Varon, Sr., Local 799, Providence, Rhode Island.
Jason D. Arnold, Local 282, Buffalo, New York.
Alfred LaPointe, Jr., Local 2665, St. Peters, Missouri. Charles Renaud, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. Brian A. Colbeck, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Joseph D. McKee, Local 4066, Irondale, Alabama. André Leclerc, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. Ronald Stubbings, Local 967, Saanich, British Columbia. Lance W. Caven, Local 2848, Langford, British Columbia. Doug McCullough, Local 1289, Modesto, California. Murray W. Ivaschuk, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Yves Théberge, Local 125, Montréal, Québec. Kylan A. Duttlinger, Local 301, Burlington, Iowa. Bruce S. Tebbett, Local 18, Vancouver, British Columbia. Ronald G. Weber, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Jeremy C. Lundgren, Local F-135, Dover Air Force Base, Delaware.
Timothy D. Strack, Local 1067, Riverside City, California. Tad D. Robinson, Local F-292, Rock Island Arsenal, Illinois. David A. Poost, Local 499, Cambridge, Ontario. Larry D. Cotman, Local 943, Kenora, Ontario. Gary Nybro, Local 854, New York, New York. Brian G. Corntassel, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Jermaine A. Pelt, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois. Jan M. Chorik, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois.
Mark E. Reuter, Local 2928, Palm Beach County, Florida. Stephen D. Whitson, Local 1568, Henrico County, Virginia. James Major, Local 94, New York, New York. Mitchell Christian, Local 706, Ashland, Kentucky. Daniel J. Williams, Local 1280, Endicott, New York. Matthew Hambleton, Local 1696, Salt Lake County, Utah. Matthew R. Cheverati, Local 2924, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Eric J. Flannery, Local 4361, Anthem, Arizona. Douglas F. Harkins, Local 94, New York, New York. Paul D. Matlin, Local 484, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Jacob C. Madden, Local 772, Bangor, Maine.
Michael Callahan, Local 293, Erie, Pennsylvania. Jason C. Tucker, Local 4420, Pasco County, Florida. Brian A. Tracy, Local 1716, Santa Cruz, California. Sean Goldie, Local 4763, Oxford, Michigan. Mauro T. Messina, Local 3137, Statesville, North Carolina. Bruce A. Nethercutt, Local 1443, Goshen, Indiana. Mike A. Young, Local 1957, Richmond Hill, Ontario. John J. Facilion, Local 628, Yonkers, New York. Robert W. Halloran, Local 1009, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Jacques Delisle, Local 125, Montréal, Québec.
Richard Kobe, Local 854, New York, New York. Mike Foster, Local 731, Sparks, Nevada. Scott Frazier, Local 3726, Douglas County, Nevada. Valerie L. Roberts, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Michael M. Richardson, Local 337, Euclid, Ohio. Craig C. Bowman, Local 481, Welland, Ontario. Carl Setterhold, Local 94, New York, New York. James J. Burns II, Local 854, New York, New York. John V. Ashman, Local 3606, Louisville, Texas.
James M. Muller, Local 5271, Irmo, South Carolina. James E. Schneck-Snyder, III, Local 1374, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. Kevin Van Orden, Local I-83, Blackfoot, Idaho. Edmund Dupuis, Local 193, Thunder Bay, Ontario. Richard H. Eifler, Local 628, Yonkers, New York. Michael Costa, Local 94, New York, New York. Neil R. Farrow, Local 854, New York, New York. David A. Seamus, Local 1104, West Warwick, Rhode Island.
Christopher J. Kiskaravich, Local 302, Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Matthew A. Pointkowski, Local 4940, Murrells Inlet, Garden City, South Carolina. George Popowich, Local 527, Sudbury, Ontario. Christopher J. Parsons, Local 21, St. Paul, Minnesota. Michael C. Martin, Local 493, Phoenix, Arizona. Bryce C. Trosbach, Local F-121, Annapolis, Maryland. James K. Donahue, Local 854, New York, New York. Dionigi F. Furano, Jr., Local 1739, Ridgefield, Connecticut. Brian E. Fuller, Local 867, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Wayne M. Brooks, Jr., Local 71, Newark, New Jersey. Augusto Akabu, Local 71, Newark, New Jersey. Thomas W. Anderson, Jr., Local 94, New York, New York.
Danny Kraft, Local 1782, Coquitlam, British Columbia. Dominic J. Smith, Local 1109, Santa Monica, California. Henrik Batalon, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Jose Jimmy L. Ponciano, Local 209, Edmonton, Alberta. Jeffrey T. Norman, Local 1784, Memphis, Tennessee.
Jeremiah H. Dunn, Local 215, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Michael J. Ramsey, Local 2400, San Mateo County, California. John J. Trejo, Local 2046, Santa Barbara County, California. Gerald Brister, Local 455, Windsor, Ontario. Kevin R. Kelly, Local 94, New York, New York. Robert M. Hughes, Local 94, New York, New York. Daniel P. Ramirez, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Jeffrey B. Post, Local F219, Groton, Connecticut. K. Jeffrey Hamill, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Rodney J. Coles, Local 995, Richmond, Virginia. Glenn Cookson, Local 485, St. Catharines, Ontario. Aaron M. Booker, Local 279, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Edward R. Pecoroni, Local 94, New York, New York. Joshua Bischoff, Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California. Timothy D. Rodriguez, Jr., Local 2881, Cal Fire, Sacramento, California.
Stephen R. Kroll, Local 478, Waco, Texas. Brian J. Konesny, Local 135, Wichita, Kansas. Robert E. Welsh III, Local 94, New York, New York. Philip P. Paternostro, Local 557, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thomas J. Morey, Jr., Local F189, NAS, New Orleans, Louisiana. John A. Tiska, Jr., Local 94, New York, New York. Anthony A. DeSimone, Local 2987, North Haven, Connecticut. Brian D. Stokes, Local 4, Des Moines, Iowa. Gary J. Lopresti, Jr., Local 902, Malden, Massachusetts. Albert A. Filosa, Local 94, New York, New York. Kevin P. Ward, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois. Terracin Jackson, Local 4321, Broward County, Florida. Douglas C. Gardner, Local 967, Saanich, British Columbia. John A. Lindsay, Local 1552, Burlington, Ontario. Gary Smith, Local 288, Hamilton, Ontario. Wayne W. Sabarin, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. Robert V. Folco, Local 94, New York, New York. Mark R. Hernandez, Local 2438, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport, Kentucky.
Jacob W. Owen, Local 5104, Gerald, Texas.
John E. DiPaolo Jr., Local 2140, Milford, Massachusetts.
Mark R. Sano, Local 94, New York, New York. Robert Bruce, Local 522, Sacramento, California. James T. Boothman, Local I-66, Boeing Firefighters, Washington. Mark D. Bolio, Local 632, New Orleans, Louisiana. Christopher M. McCann, Local 319, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Ray J. Keith, Local 1842, Delray Beach, Florida.
Rodney W. Pitts III, Local 734, Baltimore, Maryland.
Robert D. Keese, Local 5, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Robert S. Broombaugh, Local 2665, St. Peters, Missouri. Dylan J. Rinaldo, Local 964, Baltimore, Maryland.
Bernard F. Rhodes, Local 1285, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Gary V. Atfield, Local 162, Ottawa, Ontario. Michael Clinton, Local 30, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Gail Pauline Fry, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. David W. Mason, Local 3888, Toronto, Ontario. Luca Fiola, Local 830, Norwalk, Connecticut. William J. Sanders, Local 557, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Daniel K. Bennett, Local F-263, Federal Firefighters of Hawaii. Billy B. Stewart, Local 255, Calgary, Alberta. Nathan C. Burgess, Local 548, Raleigh, North Carolina.
David T. Lambers, Local 3261, Great Falls Airport, Montana. John P. Martinez, Local 1230, Contra Costa County, California. Peter C. Dauphiny, Local 1595, Vaughan, Ontario. Christopher Scalone, Local 854, New York, New York. Chris Brunick, Local 142, London, Ontario. Andrew Price, Local 2, Chicago, Illinois. Terry Bridge, Local 1782, Coquitlam, British Columbia. John H. Parrison III, Local 42, Kansas City, Missouri. Brian Flowers, Local 1062, Gresham, Oregon. Ronald E. J., Local 967, Saanich, British Columbia. John Wilcox, Local 1753, Barrie, Ontario. Donald J. Cohn, Local 3354, Huntington Beach, California. Michael W. Daly, Local 94, New York, New York. Matt K. Dawson, Local 972, Lubbock, Texas. James L. Stiglich, Local 112, Los Angeles, California. Luke M. Lynch, Local 854, New York, New York. Brad Bellinger, Local 3046, Sycamore, Illinois. Alvin D. Vaughn, Local 1257, Port of Seattle, Washington. Glenn D. Wallace, Local 632, New Orleans, Louisiana. Paul A. Gerdak, Local 1403, Metro-Dade, Florida.
I am Bruce Brown, your IAFF Honor Guard Commander. Whenever a member of this union falls in the line of duty, the colors of our two great nations, this beautiful state, and our very own IAFF are lowered from full staff to half staff from the time of notification through the sunset on the day of that member's funeral. The Honor Guard will raise our memorial flags and then solemnly lower them to half staff in memory of your loved ones. Everyone, please rise. The sounding of a bell is a tool and tradition of the fire service. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of that day's shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which summoned these brave men and women to fight fires and to place their lives on the line for the good of their fellow citizens. When the fire was out and the alarm had come to an end, it was the bell that signaled the completion of that call. When a firefighter had died in the line of duty, it was the toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. And so, to those who have selflessly given their lives for the good of their fellow man, their task completed, their duties well done, we will again sound their last alarm. They have gone home.
All uniformed personnel, attend. Freeze and out. Order. Out. Present on. Order on. Present on. Order on.
Praise
Present. March. Order. March. Prepare to retrieve color. Ready. Retrieve. Left face. Left face. Forward. March.
Whole uniform personnel, present arms. Order. Art.
Please be seated. As we bring this memorial to a close, Commander Bruce Brown of Orange County, California, Local 3631, Deputy Commander John Sobey of Ottawa, Ontario, Local 162, Deputy Commander Brett Jones of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Local 215, and Pipe Major Hunter Shapo of the Houston, Texas, Local 341 will render a final salute to the families of our fallen and retrieve our honor guard. Thank you to the Colorado Springs Chorale for performing today to honor our fallen brothers and sisters and their families. To the families of the fallen, thank you for joining us in this remembering your loved ones. We want you to know this is your memorial. You are a part of our family, and you are welcome to return anytime. Please remain in your seats during the Honor Guard's final formation on the plaza and final dismissal. God bless each of you as you travel home.
Honor guard. Forward. March.
Families are now welcome to enter the plaza.